How well do you know the attractions at Disney's Hollywood Studios? From the iconic Hollywood Tower, to being shrunk down to the size of a toy, to exploring a planet far, far away. And not to mention the myriad of shows as well. Well, today on Walt Disney World Adults Only, we are giving you the full rundown. Do not go anywhere. Welcome Royal Highnesses, I'm Dan and you're watching Walt Disney World Adults Only. If you're a new viewer to our channel, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back and for your support. We really appreciate it. Today we have a really exciting fun show for you. I'm going to be joined by the lovely Leanne from our team, and together we are going to be taking you through all the attractions at Disney's Hollywood Studios. There is literally so much to do and so much to see in this park, and in my own opinion, some of the best rides in the whole of Walt Disney World too. Are you ready for this rundown, Leanne?
Of course, Dan. I love Hollywood Studios. It has all the big rides like Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster, but I've still never managed to get to Galaxy's Edge. What's your favourite attraction in Hollywood Studios and why? Let us know in the comments down below. So, I'm going to let Dan start first. We'll go with age before beauty.
Thanks for that, Leanne. Anyway, Disney's Hollywood Studios opened on the 1st of May 1989 as Disney MGM Studios. It was the third of the 4 Disney theme parks to open and was a celebration of film, television, music and theatre, drawing some inspiration from the golden age of Hollywood. Originally, in addition to being a theme park, Disney MGM Studios was also a working production studio. The park's production facilities were phased out in the 2000s, and many of the park's sound stages were repurposed for newer attractions. In 2008, the park was renamed to Disney's Hollywood Studios, and ever since 2010, the park has progressively distanced itself from the original studio backlot theme. Hollywood Studios has kind of gone in a new direction of immersive theming inspired by imagined Hollywood stories. The park's icon was originally the Eiffel Tower, but this was changed to the Sorcerer's Hat in 2001. The Sorcerer's Hat, inspired by Fantasia, was removed from the park in January 2015. In 2018, Hollywood Studios ranked the 5th most visited theme park in North America and 9th in the world. Now, the 2 opening day attractions have both been retired. Only the Studio Backlot Tour and the Great Movie Ride were there on day 1. And so this park now has neither of the original attractions operating today. So in terms of lands, there are 7. Hollywood Boulevard, Echo Lake, Grand Avenue, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, Toy Story Land, Animation Courtyard and Sunset Boulevard. I think we should take a land at a time. Where should we start, Leanne?
Dan, let's start on Sunset Boulevard and let's go to the most obvious thing that you can see both inside and outside the park. The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. As you might know from previous videos, this is my favourite ride in this park. We will link that video in the description down below. So, the Tower of Terror, as I like to call it, opened in July 1994. So yes, it is older than me. The tower itself is 199 foot tall with a 130 foot drop. It reaches up to speeds of 39 miles per hour and G-force of 1.3. The ride holds 21 riders per vehicle with 8 vehicles in operation. 4 Disney parks have this ride and one recently transitioned into Guardians of the Galaxy, which was California. But getting back to our Tower of Terror, this is Disney, so from the second you step into that queue, you are immersed. Once you've gone through the creepy, cobwebby, dusty queue, you head into the pre-show. There is an old, crackly, black and white TV in the corner that is the only source of light other than when the thunder hits. On that TV, it tells you exactly what happened back in 1939, and then you head towards the elevator. And if dropping 130 foot wasn't enough for you, it is also part of Disney Photo Pass, so you can catch the shock on your face as you randomly plummet down. Tower of Terror is also included in Genie Plus, so at 7 o'clock you can go in and try and book your Tower of Terror pass. This is one of my all-time favourite Walt Disney World rides. My favourite time to ride is at night, when the doors open and all you can see is the lights of Walt Disney World. And speaking of lights, for the 50th anniversary, it has become a beacon of light. It shines and shimmers in neon colours, and the show runs about every 15 minutes. I know how much you love Tower of Terror, Dan. It's a must for every trip. So tell us about Rock and Roller Coaster.
Leanne, you're absolutely right. I adore the Tower of Terror. It is just perfect as it is, and I sincerely hope it doesn't get any kind of retheme anytime soon. I will of course talk about the Rock and Roller Coaster though, which is another one of my favourites and an absolute must-do for every single trip. So, Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith is just awesome. Again, lots of rumours over the years about a retheme, but nothing confirmed, thank goodness. A lot of younger people really won't appreciate the Aerosmith appearance or the music, as Aerosmith isn't exactly current, and the pre-show does look so incredibly dated. But I love it just as it is. Of note, the version of this ride at Disneyland Paris is currently closed, and is apparently being rethemed to Iron Man. Anyway, this is an enclosed launch roller coaster which goes from 0 to 57 miles per hour in just 2.8 seconds. It travels through 3 inversions including a sea serpent roll and a corkscrew. Opening on the 29th of July 1999, this coaster is 24 metres tall and 996 metres long. Disappointingly, the ride time is only 1 minute and 22 seconds. It has a G-force of 5 and there are 6 cars themed as super stretch limousines, each holding 24 riders seated in rows of 2. And this ride is included with Genie Plus. As I mentioned, this ride is themed to Aerosmith, and you simply cannot miss the enormous red Fender Stratocaster on display outside. As part of the pre-show experience, guests are greeted by Aerosmith in a recording studio and invited to the show with some backstage passes by Steven Tyler. The ride is then themed on the journey across town to the VIP backstage area in the Super Stretch Limo, or the ride vehicle. An interesting fact about this one is that each of the ride vehicles has a different number plate and plays a different Aerosmith track during the ride. So you get different songs dependent upon which ride vehicle you're seated in. Overall, a really great coaster actually, one of the best rides in Walt Disney World. What are you saying about it, Leanne?
Another one of my all-time favourite rides. I'm an adrenaline junkie, but that was my first ever upside down roller coaster. So, I will move on to Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy, also on Sunset Boulevard. This opened up on the 31st of March 2019 and it's a 10-minute live show. The audience comes face to face with Lightning McQueen, where he is desperate to show us what he has learned over the years, until he comes face to face with his rival, Chick Hicks. Chick has appeared to settle the score. Now, this is something I have never done, and to be honest, I don't really have any interest in doing. I would much rather be hitting the big rides like Tower of Terror or Rock and Roller Coaster. Dan, I've heard you say you have no interest in this as well. Why is that?
I think it's because I've never seen Cars. I don't really have any interest in that movie, and I don't really understand who all the characters are. I have seen this show on YouTube before, and it hasn't enticed me to go and spend my part-time watching it. I'd much rather use my time to go on a ride. So continuing on Sunset Boulevard, let's take a quick look at Beauty and the Beast live on stage. This is one that I do like. Now this is located at the Theatre of the Stars, and I will start off by telling you this looks very, very dated indeed. Based on the 1991 movie Beauty and the Beast, this live show debuted on the 22nd of November 1991, the same day that the animated movie was released. And I don't believe it has changed all that much in all that time. Most of the soundtrack to this show is pre-recorded, but the actors playing Belle and Gaston both have some speaking and singing parts. This show lasts about 25 minutes, and whilst I do really love it, I do personally think it could do with some updating. What do you think, Leanne? Keep it as it is or update it?
Well done. I do have to agree, I do think it needs an update, but how can you update such a classic? Okay, so the last thing we will talk about on Sunset Boulevard is Fantasmic. What a fantastic show this is, and it is coming back this year with new scenes. Fantasmic is next door to Beauty and the Beast and opened in October 1998. The show features fireworks, characters, water effects, pyrotechnics, music and floats. The show lasts about 30 minutes, with the cast members trying to pump the crowd up before it starts. Now, I am a fan of this show and try and catch it at least once every trip, and I am really excited to see what the new scenes have to offer. Are you excited for the return of Fantasmic, Dan?
Yes and no, Leanne. Historically, this was my favourite nighttime show at Walt Disney World. Every trip, I was always so excited for it, and I would always book one of those VIP dining packages to get a prime seat at the show. But the last time I saw it in 2019, it just felt so old and dated and no longer on par with the other nighttime shows at Walt Disney World. Epcot Forever and Happily Ever After had such incredible, amazing projections, and by comparison, Fantasmic just looked really poor. So it closed for COVID and it's due to reopen sometime this year with some new scenes added. My greatest wish though is that they upgrade the quality, as this was one that I always used to love seeing. I think we've covered everything at Sunset Boulevard. Let's go to Animation Courtyard next. Now, there isn't much to do here really, and I'm really curious about the future of this area of the park. Pre-COVID, there was a Little Mermaid theatre show here, The Voyage of the Little Mermaid, and a bridge version of the full story. This is currently closed, and there are rumours that this may never return. Let's hope those rumours are not true. This is a 17-minute show based on the 1989 animated classic, The Little Mermaid. Opening on the 7th of January 1992, this show combines live actors, puppets, light and laser projections, as well as light rain over the audience. Who wouldn't love 17 minutes of Little Mermaid songs? Come on. Anyway, Leanne, tell us about Star Wars Launch Bay.
Moving on to Star Wars Launch Bay, as a Star Wars fan, I am embarrassed to say that I just walked right on past it. At the time of making this video, Star Wars Launch Bay is shut, but Launch Bay gives Star Wars fans a look into some movie props, some character meet and greets such as Kylo Ren, Chewbacca, BB-8 and Darth Vader. Once COVID hit, Launch Bay became a mask relaxation station where guests could go, take their masks off, social distance and have a break. Dan, tell us about Walt Disney Presents.
I'm embarrassed to say that I don't remember it at all. I did it a very long time ago, back when it was called One Man's Dream. Whilst I don't think it has changed too much in all that time, it was a very, very long time ago and I don't have much memory of it. So Walt Disney Presents opened on the 1st of October 2001 as Walt Disney One Man's Dream. It is kind of in two parts. First, an interactive gallery featuring and showcasing memorabilia from Disney archives, and then a theatre show too. There is a 15-minute film about Walt Disney's life, focusing on the barriers he overcame in life and also previously unseen footage about the creation of Mickey Mouse. This film is narrated by none other than the legend that is Julie Andrews. And this exhibition space is often used to showcase new things that are coming to Disney in the future. I really need to go here on my next trip. It's not something that I generally think about, but I really should. When did you last do this, Leanne?
Well Dan, I last did Walt Disney Presents on my last trip in August 2019, just before COVID hit. It was August and I would do anything for some air conditioning. Well, the last thing in Animation Courtyard is the Disney Junior Dance Party, which I don't think is very much for an adult only trip, so I think we will move swiftly on. Instead, let's head to Toy Story Land that opened on the 30th of June 2018. This land replaced the studio backlot tour. The theme is to immerse you into the world of a toy. Everything is much bigger so you feel tiny. And what could be a better way to spend your first day as a toy than riding Slinky Dog Dash? So, Slinky Dog Dash is a launch coaster that reaches speeds of up to 40 miles per hour. There are 4 trains with 5 cars each. The train leaves the station and heads into its first launch, through the blocks, and the Toy Story characters then slowly down, stops for the second launch. Once the coaster has come to an end, you are serenaded by Wheezy the Penguin. Dan, have you been on Slinky Dog Dash?
I have, Leanne. I honestly wasn't fussed about it. until I rode it. And now I absolutely love it. It really is so much fun. I thought it was a kiddie coaster, but honestly, I love it. That bit with the humps where it goes up and down and up and down. Oh my God, it makes my stomach go over and over. I really do love it. Similarly, I loved Alien Swirling Saucers too. I was thinking it looked like a bit of a rubbish kiddie ride. I was wrong. I'll talk about that next. Okay, so Alien Swirling Saucers is a bit like a spinning teacup ride, except it features a whip. Using the same technology as Mater's Junkyard Jamboree at Disney California Adventure, and as the Happy Ride with Baymax at Tokyo Disneyland, this ride opened on the 30th of June 2018. It is eligible for Genie Plus and has a duration of 3 minutes. It's quite a slow moving ride, but it has a really, really fierce whip. And that's the best part. Leanne, have you done this one? Are you a fan?
Yes, Dan, I have done Alien Swirling Saucers. It was fun, but I would not be queuing a long time for them. Moving around Toy Story Land, let's go to Toy Story Mania, which has to be my favourite ride in this area. Originally opened in 2008 in Pixar Place before having the entrance relocated to become part of Toy Story Land in 2018. This shooting dart ride lasts for 5 to 6 minutes. There is 8 riders per vehicle, sat in rows of 2. You spin round, head into different 3D boards, completing mini games to see who in the cart can have the highest score. When this ride first debuted, it was one of the most technologically advanced rides that Walt Disney Imagineering had ever created. And for some of us that love it that much, it is also available on Genie Plus. I would definitely be booking Lightning Lane for this one, Dan. What about you? Because I could ride it all day, and knowing how competitive we could get, this could become interesting.
You better believe it. I'm actually not very good at this one, but I've rarely been beaten on it, but I do really love it. A quick stop on Grand Avenue now, and only one attraction here, and this one has been one of my favourite shows for years, Muppet Vision 3D. So this is a 3D film where you wear the silly glasses and it's located at the Grand Arts Theatre. Opening on the 16th of May 1991, this 3D video also has some 4D effects. These include bubbles, audio animatronics, lighting, projections, smoke, and a live performer as well. This show lasts 15 minutes and includes all of our favourite Muppet characters. I will never get tired of this show, even though it never changes. Leanne, Muppets or not?
Well, I'm amazed a Muppet joke didn't come out there, Dan. But I can take it or leave it. If it's hot outside, I love the air conditioning. But if it's not too hot, I can be elsewhere in the park. So let's move to Hollywood Boulevard. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, the only attraction here. Now, this used to be the Great Movie Ride, which I loved and was really sad to see it go. But all good things must come to an end. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is in a replica of Grauman's Chinese Theatre. The view you get as you first walk into Hollywood Studios. The Chinese Theatre is a movie palace on the historic Hollywood Walk of Fame, so it is only fitting that it is on Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood Studios. Outside the theatre there are some handprints of famous people just to give it that extra Hollywood feel. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway opened on the 4th of March 2020 and is a trackless ride. You can get 32 riders per vehicle in rows of 8. As you enter the pre-show, A Perfect Picnic will be premiering. Towards the end, Goofy appears to let you know he will be back for you. As the doors open, you will find yourself in the depths of a cartoon at a train station, making your way to the platform for when the train arrives. Don't forget, you'll have Conductor Goofy as your driver. This was the first Mickey ride to open at a Disney park, with the second one to open in California next year. Now, I've never actually rode this ride due to a trip being cancelled, but from what I've seen and from what my friends have said, it looks like it will be a really good ride. Dan, take us to Echo Lake.
Sure, Leanne, the home of one of my favourite rides and least favourite shows in the whole of Walt Disney World, Echo Lake. Let me start on a positive. Star Tours The Adventure continues. I was a Star Wars fan as a kid, and so when I first went in my teens, this was one of the rides I was most excited for. And I've never ever got tired of it. Shockingly, I even prefer this over Smuggler's Run, which we'll come to shortly. So Star Tours The Adventure Continues is a 3D motion simulator ride. Some people do suffer with motion sickness on this one. If you're that person, please check out Carol's video on motion sickness, which I will link for you down below. Anyway, you can find this ride at Hollywood Studios, Disneyland, Disneyland Paris and Tokyo Disneyland 2. And this ride takes passengers on a turbulent trip across the galaxy. Opening on the 20th of May 2011, it replaced the former Star Tours attraction which operated from the 9th of January 1987 to the 26th of July 2010. This ride encompasses a pre-show as well as a heavily themed queue to keep guests entertained whilst they're waiting to ride. It lasts 4.5 minutes and each ride vehicle holds up to 40 passengers. Hosted by C-3PO himself, this motion simulator is eligible for Genie Plus. Interesting fact time, there are 21 random segments of film for this ride. 4 opening, 5 primary destination, 7 hologram message and 5 ending destination segments. Combined, they allow for 700 different ride experiences. How cool is that? Now, the show that I do not like is the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular. Boring, and it isn't even the stunts I'm talking about. The stunts are quite cool, but they drag out what is a 10-minute show essentially to about 25 minutes. And it's all filler, asking the audience where they're from, what their job is, who they're here with, about their kids. Frankly, I find it really boring. I would say the first time you see it, it's probably fine, but for repeat viewings, it's really quite dull. The stunts are really good, but once you've seen them once, you've kind of seen them, you've done it. And so this is the show that I actively avoid. Anyway, this show is 25 minutes long and the theatre holds 2,150 people. It is live action, reenacting stunts from the film Indiana Jones and the Lost Ark. As part of the show, some audience members are selected to be involved in the show, and this is where all the filler chat comes in. This show started on the 25th of August 1989 and it still continues to this day. Don't say I didn't warn you. Leanne, do you enjoy this show?
Indiana Jones scares me. I don't like the thought of being picked to go up on stage. I would rather hide until all of that is over. But in all honesty, it is something that I can avoid anyway, mainly down to the seating. By the time the show is over, I've got a number. I'm going to cover 2 things here, mainly so we don't set Dan off singing. The first one I'll go to is for the first time in forever, a Frozen sing-along celebration, opening in July 2014, replacing the Pop Idol experience. This live show musical runs for about 30 minutes. Now, I did do Pop Idol many years ago, but this just is not on my list of things to do. Moving round to Vacation Fun, an original animated short with Mickey and Minnie. Mickey Short Theatre is an extension of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad, opened in 2020. Now, this isn't even on my list, and I don't know whether I'm just a really bad Disney fan or I walk around with my eyes shut because I didn't even know this existed. I'm going to say you've done neither of these, Dan.
Leanne, you are correct. I have always wanted to try that Frozen sing-along. Can you imagine? I would clear that place with my singing. As for the Vacation Fun, I've never heard of it. I'm going to give it a go on my next trip. So we are now on to our last land and the newest land at Hollywood Studios, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Welcome to Batuu. I'll start with the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, and this is a really great, heavily themed Star Wars ride. If I need to explain to you what the Millennium Falcon is, then I think this ride will be completely lost on you. Anyway, this is a motion simulator ride which opened on the 29th of August 2019. And I've got to ride this a few times myself. Each simulator seats 6 passengers, each assigned a role. You will either be one of 2 pilots, one of 2 engineers, or one of 2 gunners, and everyone is involved interactively. I say everybody is involved, but really only the pilot is involved. So you want to be a pilot, and you can request this when the boarding cards are being given out. You may have to wait a tiny bit longer, but do it, wait, be a pilot. This ride is eligible for Genie Plus, and has a really cool, heavily themed queue as well as the pre-show too. And there is a really cool photo opportunity here too, with that infamous circular chess table aboard the Millennium Falcon. You can also find this ride at Disneyland, and it lasts a total of 5 minutes. Quite a good ride, but as I said before, I personally prefer Star Tours, and I'm sure there's not a single person watching this who will agree with me on that. So on to our last ride for today, and probably the best ride in the whole of Walt Disney World, according to everyone. Leanne, tell us about Rise of the Resistance.
It would be mine, Dan, if I ever get to Galaxy's Edge. So, Rise of the Resistance opened in December 2019. This is a combination trackless dark ride and motion simulator. There is 8 riders per vehicle and 4 riders per row. The ride lasts about 18 minutes due to the combinations in the walkthrough. Now, you can purchase Lightning Lane for this individually. It does mean that it will cost you extra, but you will actually get on the ride. From what I've seen, the theming is great. Even the cast members get fully immersed into the roles of being in the First Order. If you didn't check out Carol and Fran's vlogs, you will see them being questioned by the First Order. We will link that in the description down below. As you walk through the queue, you will pass numerous ships, including Poe's X-Wing. You board a transport ship for the first portion of this ride until you get hijacked and brought onto a First Order Star Destroyer. Then, with help from Finn, disguised as a stormtrooper, you board a hijacked fleet transporter to travel to an escape pod. Your journey to the escape pod will not be easy. Just make sure to try and avoid the stormtroopers and Kylo Ren. Now, I have to admit, I am so excited to ride this ride. Well, I think we've covered everything. If you think we've forgotten anything, let us know in the comments down below.
Thank you so much for your help, Leanne. This was a really, really fun reminder of all the great things there are to do at Hollywood Studios. We have another video just like this one, all about the attractions at Animal Kingdom. It features Eric rather than Leanne though, and I'll link that one for you in the description down below. Anyway, for now, thank you so much for watching this video. We really do appreciate it. If you've liked it, please click like, give us a big thumbs up, and share it with your friends as well. If you like our channel, please subscribe and hit that bell notification as well so you know when our videos come out. If you are not a member of our adult only Facebook group, please join us today. We talk about everything like this. Come and join us. The link is in the description for you down below.
And remember, never grow up.
That's right, Leanne. Never grow up.